and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty.
Right. So this is the new moon. And the king sat in his seat. Abner was there, and Jonathan, but David's seat was empty. Remember he said he's gonna be gone till the third day evening. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean.
So let you know that if you're not clean, then you're not supposed to come to the feast, man or woman, you know. So he thought that he was unclean while he wasn't there. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today?
Right, so that's the custom was, you know, David was there. He had a special seat. But he missed the new moon. That's the first day of the month. And the next day, for dinner, he wasn't there that day either. Read.
And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore, he cometh not unto the king's table.
Right. So that's what he told her. What, you know, he had already talked about him, and David already talked about it. Check out Saul, though. Read.
Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? Wow.
So you chose King David to bring forth this confusion to me, and the confusion of your naked mama's confusion. The confusion of your naked mama, too. Saul was something else. Go ahead.
For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom.
So he let him know, long as he knew that David in the spirit was going to be king. See, it's not going to come to you, Jonathan. Long as David is living, the kingdom not coming to you. Read.
Wherefore, now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die.
Wow. Remember David said, hey, see how he gonna act, you know, once you tell him. And this is the way he acted, man, you know. He wanted to kill him. Read.
And Jonathan answered Saul, his father, and said to him, Wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done?
I said, why you gonna kill him? I said, what has King David done? He ain't king yet, but he's still, you know, David, he gonna be king. I said, what have he done? Listen, read.
And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David.
Saul cast a javelin at his own son to let him know how serious he was about killing King David. Read.
So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame.
Yeah, man. So, bunch of degenerates, man. Bunch of, dysfunctional family. Until this day. Sad to say, but it's real. You're seeing it over and over again. That's why we gotta make the difference. We gotta change. You gotta change this up. Somebody has to do it. Get 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. And start at verse 18.
2 Kings chapter 4, verse 18. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father to the reapers. And he said unto his father, my head, my head. And he said to a lad, carry him to his mother. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon, and then died.
Oh, he died. Your son died. Go ahead.
And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of the Most High, and shut the door upon him, and went out.
Right. So she set him in the room with the man of the Most High. Then she left. Go ahead.
And she called unto her husband, and said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men, and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of the Most High, and come again.
Right, so I may run to the man of the Most High and come again. This is how we acknowledge the men of the Most High at this time. Go ahead.
And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today?
Say, why are you going to go to him today? This is the prophet Elisha. Go ahead.
It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well.
He said, why you going today? He said, it ain't new moon or the Sabbath. She said, it shall be well. Go ahead.
Then she saddled an ass, and said to her servant, drive, and go forward. Slack not thy riding for me, except I bid thee. So she went and came unto the man of the Most High to Mount Carmel. And it came to pass, when the man of the Most High saw her afar off, that he said to Gehazi, his servant, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee?
Is everything okay? Is everything okay with you? Go ahead.
Is it well with thy husband?
Something wrong with your husband? Is your husband okay? Go ahead.
Is it well with the child?
Is it okay? Your son is okay? Go ahead.
And she answered, it is well.
Go ahead.
And when she came to the man of the Most High to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away.
So she came and went down to his feet. And Gehazi came and pushed her away. Read.
And the man of the Most High said, let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her.
He said, leave her alone. There's some type of problem that she have in her actions of falling down at my feet. He recognized it. He's a man of the Most High. Elisha, go ahead.
And the Most High had hid it from me, and had not told me. Then she said, did I desire a son of my power? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins, and take my staff in thine hand, and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. And lay my staff upon the face of the child.
So he's giving them orders. Say, lay a staff upon the face of the child. Read.
And the mother of the child said, as the Most High liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. And Gehazi passed on before them, and laid the staff upon the face of the child. But there was neither voice nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him, and told him, saying, the child is not awakened.
So Gehazi put the staff on the child's face, the boy's face, but he didn't rise up. He didn't wake. Go ahead.
And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed.
So by the time Elisha got there, the child was dead, laying on the bed. Go ahead.
He went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain, and prayed unto the Most High.
So he went into the room where the boy was lying dead and prayed to the Most High. Read.
And when he went up and lay upon the child, and put his mouth upon his mouth, and his eyes upon his eyes, and his hands upon his hands, and he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm.
So now it sounds like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Plus he's putting his eyes right there in his face, you know, holding his hands, and warming the child up with his body warmth. Go ahead.
Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes.
So the child sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes up. Go ahead.
And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shunammite. So he called her, and when she was come in unto him, he said, take up thy son.
So when she came and said, take up your son is alive. Go ahead.
Then she went in and fell at his feet and bowed herself to the ground and took up her son and went out.
Wow, she worshiped him. Took her son and went out. Go ahead.
And Elisha came again to Gilgal, and there was a dearth in the land, and the sons of the prophets were sitting before him. And he said unto his servant, set on the great pot, and see it pottage for the sons of the prophets. And one went out into the field to gather herbs, and found a wild vine, and gathered thereof wild gourds, his lap full, and came and shred them into the pot of pottage, for they knew them not. So they poured out for the men to eat. And it came to pass, as they were eating of the pottage, that they cried out and said, O thou man of the Most High, there is death in the pot. And they could not eat thereof. But he said, then bring meal. And he cast it into the pot, and said, pour out for the people, that they may eat. And there was no harm in the pot.
Right. There was no harm in the pot. This is showing the power of this man of the Most High, Elisha. You know, when you know about the story about Elisha, Elijah, who was before Elisha, told him if he see him going up, ascending up into heaven, that he'd give him he wanted a double portion of his power. And it's showing you how that power he had, Elisha had, in doing these things that, you know, we're seeing here. I want to jump to 2 Kings 5:1 right quick. We're going to look at something so you can, because I said a lot of times I want you to see this though, concerning the all Edomites, even though they're, I just say all so-called white people, necessarily not Edomites. In this 5th chapter, it kind of proves it when you look at read verse 1.
2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1. Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, and honorable, because by him the Most High had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper.
Yeah, so Naaman was a leper, so that means he had leprosy, which is case scenario, Michael Jackson, or you see somebody out, your skin is brown, but it turns the color of your palm of your hand or the palm, or I'll say the bottom of your feet. That's leprosy that we have automatically. Yeah, well you see, and it's contagious. it's contagious until they're fully, all the brown is gone, the pigment and melanin is gone. You just see, it's like the palm of the hand till it's like this all over. So be aware of that. So Naaman has leprosy. We established that. Jump up to verse 8.
2 Kings chapter 5, verse 8. And it was so, when Elisha, the man of the Most High, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
That's right. I said, let him come to me. He's going to know that there's a prophet in Israel. Read.
So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean.
So Elisha told him to go and wash in the Jordan River 7 times, and his flesh gonna come back to him. His brown skin gonna come back to him. His pigment and melanin gonna come back to him. Go ahead.
And thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean.
So you are clean while you have this brown flesh with pigment and melanin. But if you lose it, then you unclean. You see? That's what I'm telling you. These people are unclean, so you got to be aware of it. At the times when we knew they had leprosy, they'd be like, what they say, unclean, unclean. They'd be hollering, unclean, unclean, unclean. They were separated. A lot of them were separated from the normal population. Go ahead.
But Naaman was wroth and went away and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call on Yahweh Bahashum his power, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage.
Right. He told him what to do. He didn't want to do it. So, a lot of times the prophets came, man, they'd be like, man, you come for war or peace. You see, he got angry because he didn't do what he said to do. Go ahead.
And his servants came near and spake unto him, said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? Yeah,
he said, hey man, you heard what he said do? Why you not following his order? Go ahead. Look. Walk around here looking like you looking. Go ahead. Verse 13.
And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he said to thee, wash and be clean?
Yeah, he said, wash and be clean? You didn't hear what he said? We just gave 2 scenarios where the food was poisoned. Right. Say, hey man, he took care of the food, the boy had died. Come on, you don't see the power that he's rolling with? Say, he just told you to go down to the Jordan and wash 7 times. Don't you want to be clean from this leprosy? Go ahead.
Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Most High. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. Wow,
his flesh came back like a little child. Can we start all over again? Go ahead.
And he returned to the man of the Most High, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no power in all the earth, but in Israel.
That's why he said, I know. Ain't no other power in all the earth but the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of my servant. But he said, as the Most High liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused.
Go ahead.
And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, and Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of earth?
So he tried to give him something. I will receive none. He said, and he urged him to take it, but he refused. He didn't want anything for this blessing. Go ahead.
For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other idols, but unto the Most High power.
That's right. Say, offer your burnt sacrifices and your atonements to the Most High. Go ahead.
In this thing the Most High pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Most High pardon thy servant in this thing. And he said unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way.
Right, so he said, go in peace. He said, don't be bowing down to no Rimmon or no other idol. You know, only serve the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob from that point on. Now, Gehazi hearing this, read.
But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of the Most High, said, behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian in not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Most High liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
So you say, hey, you don't want, Elisha didn't want to get it? He ain't want to receive it? I will run after him and get it myself. Go ahead.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him, and said, is all well?
He says, all well, go ahead.
And he said, all is well. My master hath sent me, saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
See that? Trying to yai-quab him. He said, hey, give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. Go ahead.
And
But mind you, he ain't did nothing. Gehazi ain't did nothing. But he said, he heard him say, you gonna give him something? He refused it? He said, I'll get that, I'll take it. That happened to me once. Just like that. Go ahead.
And Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents